Peace, everybody. Waiting, just wait, everybody, waiting, everybody, come on in. Got everybody live in the house. We just waiting to set things up, and then we're gonna start in a few moments. So please, even while you're waiting, please like this so we can get more people seeing this and share it as well because we wanted this tonight was a very, very important conversation. And it's a very hot topic. And we have a very good brother here that's going to be sharing some very good information. So yeah, go ahead and share this. Tell your people that we are here and we're here live and we're about to get things popping. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and if you haven't followed the good brother, David Osiris, I should say, please do. Please follow the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast if you haven't already. You know what I'm saying? Give me a few more seconds and we're gonna start moving. Okay, so I just went on TikTok live, so if you I'm just waiting for it to connect. So I am yeah, officially live on TikTok, Darby. So if
Oh,
you wanna
okay.
yeah, if you wanna link over there too, we'll get that popping. Peace everybody. We getting things moving
I'm probably
as
damn. I'm on
always.
Clubhouse right now. Yeah. Okay. Gee. Yeah, I got my.
Okay, what you say now?
I said, I got Clubhouse on this other phone, so
That's the one you want to stick with Clubhouse on that one? Another one?
yeah, I
Okay,
got.
that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
Hold on. In the Clubhouse
Um,
actually pulled up on.
okay. I mean, that's cool. If you want to rock it that way, that's cool. I'll
Yeah,
just let
Clubhouse. We can stick with that.
okay, okay. And they can hear me on
Yeah,
Clubhouse? They're able to hear me on Clubhouse?
yeah. I pinged you to the room.
Okay.
Yeah, on Clubhouse. Yeah.
Okay. As long as they can hear me, we ready to go.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
cool, 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 cool. Wait a minute, let me do this. I don't know why this thing's tripping right now. I don't know why. All right, there we go. So we back at it again, ladies and gents. You know what I'm saying? Ascension. You know what I'm saying? Elevation. To all my folks, yes indeed. This is the Polka Rabbit podcast. And we're back at it. You know, having an amazing night, amazing conversation tonight. Um, as always, Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. Like I said, we are here to uplift humanity. Um, Specifically, and in addition, we are here to help assist and await the woolly-haired, melanated beings that have lost their way, then are slowly waking up to the reality of this existence and who they are. And we have a very good brother here that will be assisting in giving us guidance on our past, sections and chapters of our long, extensive past. Okay. Um, and if you haven't already, please go to polka.rabbitpodcast.com and pick up the book, Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. You know what I'm saying? And even if you look at the picture, you do see the good Native American sister on here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about some of that stuff tonight. You know what I'm saying? So, um, again, before I move forward, please follow, share, and please like the Puppet Polka Dot Puppet Rabbit podcast if you haven't, and also the good brother David or Cyrus. Please do that. That's enough for me, brother. Could you please introduce yourself to the people who do not know you?
All right, so I'm Darvid Osiris. I do this American Indian stuff on social media, content creator, Morgan State University graduate, and things of that. Have for been fruitful, and I'm glad to be a movement that we call the American Indian movement. leave y'all off with that.
So, okay. So let me first off, how did you get into this information? Like, how did this information come to you? Like, why did you even, how did it, how did your interest come in there?
All right, so this was at the time. This was like 2017. I was in college, and I wanted to find out the truth. Black people we call black. This started with me like studying Africa, Egypt, coming across so that was already in my head, my foundation of study, and things like that. So coming across that, and then my dad just telling me like, yeah, there was black people already here too. So he was telling me the story because I have Caribbean ancestry. He was just telling me the story about when Africans got off the boat, which is an oral tradition that's passed down to my family. When Africans got off the boat, they ran, they ran, they just ran to the woods and stuff, and things like that. Yeah, and they knew where they were going,
Mm.
and they couldn't tell them apart from each other. So yeah, that's the oral tradition that was passed down to my family.
So it was something more like kind of a lineage thing for you, like a blood connection, like ancestral. Was that what you think it was the main thing that motivated you?
Yes. So I was under the lines of like for like the longest or century, uh, studying all these people like the master teachers like Dr. Ben Yosef. You have John Henry Clark. Just those different frames of thoughts and like studying under them, and just coming into like the awareness, being heavy into the Kemetic culture, Kemetic sciences. And it wasn't until around like I say Clubhouse where I started cop hopping up on Clubhouse, which most people can hear. I was going into rooms, hellhole, smooth, and you got Big Chief. Just seeing their rooms and stuff. It just like motivated me getting into like my genealogy, my ancestry, and things like that. Because I have a friend on TikTok. He was just telling me like, yeah, you should just start doing your genealogy, things like that. At first, I was just listening, and things like that because I wanted to be on like a global, like melanated perspective. So then it just went down to like bloodline and lineage, and I've gotten pretty far. So
Yeah, so could you kind of, however much information you want to expose, could you kind of go through like the process of how, because there's a lot of people that might be like, man, I want to find out, what my it is. Can I just go to ancestors.com? Could you kind of possibly walk the people through like your process to how, you got there?
okay, cool. So yeah, for the number one thing is talking to your family. That's the number one thing.
Hmm.
I was fortunate enough to have, met a great grandparent. I was just fortunate enough to still turn that's still around. She's 90. Um, just able to like know, like, and share wisdom amongst like elders and things like that. So with that being said, once it finally started, came time to actually do the genealogy. It was actually quite easy. It wasn't hard to get to like third grandparents, things like that,
Hmm.
just off the knowledge given, So
Yeah.
yeah, just being able to meet like a great grandfather, uh, and just getting to know him. So yeah. So to get into it, sir, you can use ancestry. You can use my heritage for these services, but you also can use family search and actually take the time to find like census records, death records, marriage records, birth records, things like that. Searching the records on, searching the records, and seeing where the story goes. And there's also external sources as well, so that you could do to help you out on your genealogy journey. Peace. I see everybody in the chat.
Yeah, yeah. they, they moving in there. Yeah, that's amazing because it's interesting because like I was telling you, I had a good conversation with the brother Rod Hayes, and I was telling you before, like back in the 90s. you know, down in Georgia when Dr. York had the land down there, and all everything was down there, like dealing with like the Yamasi and all these different things, and he put out a book called Let's Let the Record Straight that like cracked my skull because it really went into everything we're talking about today, like the Native American aspect. And always would hear things like from my grandparents, be like, "Oh yeah, with Cherokee." But I used to hear these different things, but I didn't hear I never made the full connection that everything until later on. By listening to cats like Dan Calloway, even listening to cats information you've been putting off, even information what Brother Rod Hayes was talking about. So it really blew my mind because I started doing more research, and I'm just like, yo, we just been straight lied to about our history, man. Like, yeah, yeah, like completely to like the fullest
Mhm.
degree. Like, I don't think a lot of people out there, y'all understand how bad this job was. And I'm gonna transition to this question. Could you break down, like, historically, like you said, we were already here, and what was a transfer which we actually came known as being black and lost that Native American status? Like, could you kind of walk us through that?
Mhm. Okay, so I use my family for you saying because this happened to my
Mm-hmm.
family. Like the things I've talked about, I can actually like verify through family. So we had the Piscataway tribe. The Piscataway, in their original description, these were like tall, dark skinned people. They have a culture similar to the Powhatan. They're Algonquin speaking
Mm-hmm.
people. And they were reclassified. This is actually government documented on from Maryland.gov that the Piscataway were reclassified as Negro and mulatto because they didn't have census records. They didn't have like a racial or Native American. So this is why the Piscataway had to fight. They had to fight to be recognized and things like that. They just got recognized in like 2012. It was resurrected in 1988. So these people were reclassified as Negro, colored, mulatto, and yeah, that's basically how that comes about. Also, you have the Reclassification Acts via 1910. Walter Plucker, he was reclassifying people as Negro, colored, and mulatto because he believed they had African blood. But no, if you look in the background of Walter Plucker, he was a eugenicist. He is part of the Anglo-Saxons group of America. He had a agenda. Like if you weren't close to like white looking, then yeah, you're not accepted in his eyes. So that just molds the narrative now that the lookerism that comes when people say that they're American Indian, and then there's also another government document of through the Federal Recognition Act of 2009. I just stumbled across this just searching up like surnames of tribes and things. Just put in Rappahannock surname, and it just listed that in like section 401, number 50 something, that all non-resident Indians were reclassified as Negro. So
And what was it? Was there any what was the reasoning behind this? Was that ever brought to the forefront?
they wanted to get people off the land. America rich in resources, and they wanted to get the original people off the land so they could have the resources for themselves.
Yeah. Was it how did this way at all be connected to manifest destiny? And as far as that whole, like, was there a connection, from the original aspect kind of going down? You know what I'm saying? Is there like a connection there?
Right. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. Europeans wanted to that manifest, their dominance over the world. So
Hmm.
we're gonna go to all these places and strip the indigenous our people of their identities and take their land, just all the way across the board. So yeah, like they wanted to make their imprint on the world having full control.
I was I was I was listening to I can't remember what it was at this point, but it's real interesting because one of the brothers was talking about the Native Americans. being here first, and especially Native American. I like this, like I said, I like to call Native American Nubians. I'm gonna use that term right now, but instead of saying Native American Black. But a lot of these uh, edifices, a lot of these different buildings here in America that were already here were were made by obviously people that are like this. I think that one of the oldest
Mm-hmm.
places they have, I think it's out in Iowa, if I'm not mistaken, or Idaho maybe. But it was like a they call it the corn mosque or the corn something. But anyway, like they're saying that Moors built a specific place. You know what I'm saying, in Idaho. You know what I mean? Like so, these black folks were already
Mm-hmm.
here building stuff, courthouses. Um, could you kind of go into like maybe some more historical aspects of how we were already here and it just kind of um was just taken over.
Right. You sounds like you're acting.
Oh, okay, let me see.
I guess it's from the Instagram live.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
probably is. You go ahead, talk.
yeah.
I have a wagon
So
fish. Go
just
ahead, go
going
ahead.
in, cool. So yeah, going to like a that historical context is like us being in here already. Just just study like the original cultures. We were building towns before anybody got here. We were doing many plethora of different things. People look at you can look at the Mayan culture. You can look at all the Louisiana, Mississippi culture. I said Louisiana, but yeah, the Mississippian culture. People were having their own spiritual system, their own religion. They were having their own form of culture. They were doing different things like building mounds, building pyramids. Yeah, like this is stuff going on all throughout North and South America. So yeah, you've been building stuff, having like the Skyway. They built their own houses. They built their own homes before anybody else got over here. So, and that's in my lineage. The Powhatan were doing the same thing. Some of the Powhatan come from Mexico. So, and we know about them in Mexico. So yeah, which I have in my lineage too. So yeah. Yeah, I get you. Well, not through the computer, but on IG. I get you through on IG. Uh huh. Right. Right. This definitely is, and in considering, this enrolling into the Biscayne, weighing out the options, or being recognized as like an urban Indian. So that's definitely a step in the process. Mhm.
a small thing that's happening. More and more people are waking up. That the vast majority of us that were here are Native American.
Right.
It's a very simple thing. It's not most of us didn't come here on boats. You know what I'm saying? We were already here. We had our language. We had our culture. We had everything. You know. Did you ever see that movie, Birth of a Nation?
Yes, I vaguely remember it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now, if anybody haven't seen that movie, what we're talking about right now, when that movie started, and what that movie is about, that movie talks about the time frame in which the Native American America was literally overthrown from that America into a new America.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody out there that's out there, I would check out that movie. It's like historically a story from a different angle and perspective, and a different mindset, obviously. It talks about the takeover of America.
Right.
They flaunted, they're like, yo, this is what went down. Of course, they overdo it and all that stuff, but it's the power transfer from.
Right. So, American Indian, because there is a different American Indian. American is a more modern term. American Indian so just based off the law that we know, black law is generic. Indian as the Aboriginal North America, and maybe because American Indian would be the race, your tribe would be your ethnic group. So just wanted to put that difference of distinguish out there. So
yeah. That's very important. Yeah. So I thought it was something very interesting. The brother Rod Hayes, last time they were talking, he was just kind of breaking it down how there were different tribes here. Not all of them did look like us. Some of them, looked like the typical Native Americans with the long hair. Some were, looked like they were half black, half Chinese people. Other people looked, Negroid. But there were different tribes here. They weren't just all us, and we interacted with all of them.
Right. Yes. So tribes look different, had different we'll say phenotypes all over the Americas. Like the East Coast tribes, they look more different than maybe like the southeastern woodlands and then the plains. And some of the people considered American migrated over here from Russia, Siberia, or they were a part of the Pacific slave trade. They have a slave trade when they brought people from Asia over here, and things like that too. So yeah, and then some of us may be related to these people. If you find it through your genealogy and whatnot, 5 civilized tribes, and definitely can be a relation there. So yeah, just saying that, things like that. But yeah, it's definitely been a different types of tribes, different looks, different cultures, but and then tribes that didn't mess with each other either. So it wasn't just all peace. It wasn't just all peaches and cream over here in the Americas as well. So yeah.
Yeah, just like that's just human nature. But at the same time, just us as tribal people, we handle things different. You know what I'm saying? We ain't just trying to just take over people and kill people. That's we had our own thing. We really had nothing to do with the way that we seen the way westernized people, had to treat us. So could you kind of build maybe on some of the that average person do not know is the whole story of being a Native American and black as opposed to what we've been taught. Some of the things learned that's like really like, you're like, hey.
Okay, yeah, our culture The Black American or the African American culture is a reflection of the American Indian. Look at all the foods we eat. So the vegetables, they're from here. Uh they didn't come. They didn't bring this stuff over from Africa. Like what you're eating is from here. All these different foods. Some of the dances, like if you look at they're a reflection of the American Indian dances. Language, slang. Uh, a lot of language that we speak, they want to mark it up as European languages, but it's a lot of Algonquin in English. It's some Iroquois English as well. So, the slangs, OCO. That's hello in Cherokee. You feel me? So a lot of the stuff that we do now, our family been doing, and somebody commented the swagger, the food, the rhythm, yeah, it all comes from our ancestors.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, because the brother Ryan when he was talking about tribes, etc. I always thought it was interesting. I don't know if we can build on this a little bit. I always thought it was interesting, like in ancient Egypt. Now, I saw some clips when you were talking about between Egypt and America. And you notice how, like, in ancient Egypt, look at aprons, you know what I'm saying? And you come over here, and you see some of these tribes, and they have the same exact thing.
Right.
They have the feathers, they're Moses, and they have the aprons.
Mm-hmm.
Could you kind of talk about maybe how that was all connected? Was it brought from one to other? You know what I'm saying? How was that? How did the similarities come together?
Me personally, because I brought this up before. Personally, I believe people just, like we do now, just travel. For like learning from each other, things like that. Because there's people from Africa, so the Americas is older. But yeah, just people just trading, communicating with each other, and just passing down knowledge from each other. So yeah, I feel like it's just trading going on. People learn from each other. Yeah, some things like that. Okay. Things that we do now.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's just like a matter of literally just traveling over from one place to another, connected with somebody else, sharing information, and just kind of moving on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Thank you. What's it? That was a good sister. The sister Tammy. Thank you for about the heads. I had my joint on mute, so I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Peace and love. Um. So yeah. So I also saw you talk something about like the Americas and Egypt. What is your connection that you find as far as the overall connection between America and Egypt? Like, could you kind of go on that, build on that?
Yeah, I go in there on that. So,
Mhm.
there's definitely similarities in like spirituality, culture, like we brought up before. They were trading foods and things like that. Pyramids, people who correlate Egypt with building pyramids, and things like that. You also have, yeah. Let me say, yeah, like spiritual origins. I can break down the spiritual origins.
Mhm.
A lot. The Mayans and the Egyptians, they talk about coming from Sirius, Pallades, these places like that. The Mayans talk about that. Pallades. With Pallades, have the Cherokee. They call it the Seven Dancers. You have called Lumerian Atlantis studying the past or something like that to survive.
Mhm.
Something like surviving the past. That's what it's called by
Mhm.
Shirley Andrews. I just recently read this. Um, she was talking about like some of the Sioux, like the Sioux, Cherokee, some Mayans, and then also Pallades. You had the Powhatan because
Mhm.
there's someone that has information to me as well. So yeah, there's definitely a spiritual, astronomical, esoteric connection between the two. There's cultural linkages like the Inca, and the Egyptian spiritual systems mirror each other.
Okay. And what about like, cause I've always, um, what about like the actual mounds and et cetera that we have here. Because I mean, even I've heard, I'm sure you've heard this before. They're saying that and I guess the Grand Canyon, there's an Egyptian temple down there, like a temple to Isis and different things. You know what I'm saying? Um, you
Mhm.
know, have you, by chance, have you been able to get more research about these Egyptian places here in America? And have you got more information on them, like more research and kind of
Uh,
confirmative?
um, the Grand Canyons. Yeah, there's definitely talk about like the Grand Canyons having Egyptian stuff in there. Because there is what Pharaoh Ramesses the third. He
Mm-hmm.
had found they found cocaine in his mummy, and his
Mm-hmm.
in his mummy. They found cocaine in his mummy tomb. So that's definitely an
Yeah.
insinuation that someone who came over here.
Mm-hmm.
Cocaine, tobacco. Yeah, they're getting cocaine and tobacco from these places.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's there's many books out here like America's a True Old World. You have one into by got his name, but he has an American Indian name. I'll tell you that last name Chavis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else? You have the books by Augustus Laplongeon, Queen Moody, Egyptian Sphinx, and then you have the book by him, Sacred Maya. He talks about the connection between the Egyptians, not just Egypt, but India, Chaldea, and these other places too. So, because I had brought this up before, the jaguar Osiris that are found here in the Heru, the falcon, is found here. The bird that is found here. You have the Osiris, which is represented as the jaguar, the ko, and the
Mm-hmm.
spelling of this is found in Mayan culture. The spelling is Osir, but it's pronounced Ozil. So,
Mm. Yeah. So it's a definite connection. It's just like almost like in Hebrew and or Aramaic and Arabic, you know what I'm saying? Different dialects, but the words are so close, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
That it's the same meaning and it's pretty much same meaning, just a little off in the dialect. And that makes a lot of sense how because it'd be the similar people just like accents, literally. You know what I'm saying? A northern accents to as opposed to a southern accent. You know what I mean? Different part. So what about like did you ever do any research on like how the Olmecs tie into all of this to the Native American aspect? And
Oh
yeah.
yeah, uh-huh. So I actually descend from them.
Hmm.
I have like the Mayans and the Olmecs. They were considered like the she people,
Yeah.
and I have that lineage through like the Powhatan.
Hmm.
Uh, so my Powhatan, I just found some more Powhatan lineage. But yeah, they definitely tie into things. I mean, a lot of tribes that have oral traditions of coming from Mexico. From what I've known,
Hmm.
you got the Choctaws, you got the Chickasaws, you got the Creeks as well, and then Taino, times too from in the islands in South
Hmm.
America. So yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure most of the people on here are at least somewhat familiar of what some of the stuff we're talking about. And if you're not, this is a this is a very hot topic right now. Um, there's some good brothers out here, including the one here, that are really just spitting mad information and basing it with facts, not just just talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? I had the honor here, actually in Virginia, years ago, to see the brother Dr. Ivan Van Sertima do a lecture. On it was actually called the came before Columbus after they put out, and you know the information that these brothers were putting out about this subject. It's not. I don't think it's now it's coming to the light now more. It's becoming more popular to the forefront now. It's fine because as long as it's happening, that's cool. But this information is really truly American history. You know what I'm saying? This is like, this I'm not talking about like, this is well pre-American history, of course, but it even though they try to hide a lot of this, once you dig deep enough here, it's right in front of your face. A lot of these um, rivers, a lot of these places that you're seeing, all they're doing is telling you about the people that were here that look like me and you. You know what I'm saying? Um, I gotta applaud you, brother. You know, honestly, because
Mhm.
you know, for us in this day and time, just where we're at, just astrologically, spiritually, you know, we need to have a wake up call like this, the call that you're giving to us for our origins, and let's get back to our roots. So I definitely, I definitely applaud you. You know, so much more. So this is another question. With this coming along, was this a spiritual awakening along with a genealogical awakening? What did one happen before the other? Like for you personally, how was it all combined together? You know what I'm saying?
Personally, it spiritual before because I always knew because I had ancestors that told me
Hmm.
that I was American Indian. This they would just come to me like I would just see visions, women,
Yeah.
and like
Hmm.
in like American Indian like regalia, all like just tell me like yeah you're from here. Um,
Hmm.
so it was just like spiritually, and then I just knew I like on to I guess the Pan African ideology for so long. Now I just like forget it. You know, let's it's time to actually learn like who I am, and that's what. Yeah, I feel like it could be vice versa for other people. It could
Hmm.
be genealogically, and then the spirituality
Hmm.
come along as they go.
Yeah.
Because people made jokes about this. People made jokes about this and made this day a joke. But
Hmm.
December 21st, 2020, when that conjunction happened, something
Yeah.
actually did spiritually shift in people.
Yeah. I agree.
That was like a start. Because
Hmm.
after 2020, yeah, that just sparked something into people.
Hmm.
And yeah, now we're here now, and it's gaining more and more momentum. More people
I agree.
seeing like people like me and others on YouTube. You got I got to shout them out, Tasha, Big Chief, Phoenix. You got Shan. They're waking people up. That's just by us being on Clubhouse, being on Twitter, being on Instagram,
Yeah.
being on YouTube, things like that. People are their interests are being are peaking. They're peaking their interest into biology and stuff like that. So yeah, and
Yeah.
then you got Dane Calloway too. So
Yeah. It's definitely the day and time. And I got to applaud all of the ancestors, all of our master teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like we were talking about earlier, that literally gave us all the foundation to do what we're doing now. You know, the Dr. Benz, you know what I'm saying, the Bobby Hemmett's, you know what I'm saying, talking up Dr. Valentine, Dr. York, all these information, all these brothers, man, they were kicking it back in the 90s hard. They were like, yo, and they literally, it's like the amazing thing about that, because I was around to see some of this stuff. It's like this all the stuff they were talking about is now manifesting here. You know what I'm saying? It's all manifesting here in front of us, and it's all being verified by facts. You know what I'm saying? And it's so dope seeing the young cats like y'all coming and being like, "Yo, y'all like, yo, this is it. I don't even, you know what I'm saying? Let's rock with it. Here's what we got. You know what I'm saying? Every time that I see y'all young cats in here doing this and putting this information, man, it gives us all hope, man. You know what I'm saying? For the future and just giving this information and really putting us back to where we need to be mentally, because here's the thing that I have to say to all the people out here. We always talk about like some of the reasons why we look at quote unquote black Americans, and we're looking at all the way these people out here dressing all crazy, doing crazy things, shooting people, all this kind of crazy stuff. And like black Americans, we don't have culture. You know what I'm saying? Everything that we talked about today earlier, these individuals, they had culture. You know what I'm saying? They had a language, their own language.
mhm.
They had, like you said, their own food. They had their own rites of passages. You know what I'm saying? They had the whole, they wouldn't be doing this stuff. We wouldn't be doing this stuff if we still had culture. And that's a big thing, I think, that's going along with what you were saying earlier about how we had everything here, then it was just stripped away. And now we think we're something completely different. And now we have no culture. You know what I'm saying? That we can really point to and say, yeah, this is ours. You know what I'm saying? You want to build on that a little bit more? How, like, how that kind of the effects that you see from that?
Yeah. So yeah, just like you said, just that the aspect of us being stripped of that, and then the adding on to people saying that you're somewhere else. People coming in saying that, you're from Africa. People teaching that you about this, you're from Africa. Holding, Egypt, Kemet in front of your face, things like that, saying that you're from Africa, being like stripped of your identity, and also like the conditions people are put in, survival type of conditions. They
Mm-hmm.
basically their project is basically a form of arrest, and
Mm-hmm.
things like that. Putting people in these predicaments,
Mm-hmm.
and the lack of things like that. Colonization has done its toll on us. So it's folks to get up there and put in the work to see better and do better. Everybody's not going to be saved and whatnot. Can't save everybody. But
Yeah,
yeah, the people
I
that
agree
want
with that
something
though.
better is their
Yeah.
calling to calling to do something right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's I mean that's a fair point, and it's a good point. Now let me and that's kind of interesting point on my me thinking about something like once you started getting introduced to the fact that your lineage was part of that, did cultural aspects come along with that?
Oh yeah, because
Hmm.
I'm still on Ancestry. And then Ancestry Run basically down the street. I'm from Maryland, so I'm still
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Maryland, Virginia, basically. So yeah, like the cultural, just learn being in did where they were, like the rivers, being in the being in the rivers, being in those forests and woods and stuff like that. It's seeing I really started seeing spiritually what they were doing, what was going on. So it's like tap once you're at a certain level spiritually to tap in,
Hmm.
you'll be able to see what your ancestors been doing,
Yeah,
and you
I
can
agree.
just see the reflections of what you're doing in this day. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, man. I remember one time, man, years ago when I was first really getting into the um my one of my teachers, Chief Amachi, Abongo Humphrey, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He used to go back and forth to Africa all the time. He started teaching me different things. He started teaching me African spirituality, and along with that, the more and more I learned, and I started connecting, is an interesting thing because I started connecting to here. You know what I'm saying? To the native aspect, and they came to me just like in the movie The Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? People, say yeah, they think that you think they just made that stuff up when Chadwick Boseman or the Black Panther went to the ancestors realm and he saw that stuff. Y'all think that they were just making that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And also shoot the this is a different topic, but even just dealing with the way our ancestors dealt with plant-based medicines. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to call it psychedelics, you know what I'm saying? They sat there and showed you the man ate this, he drank it, you know what I'm saying, and he went to the realm, man. So a lot of people don't know that movie is very deep on so many levels, man. If you really are peeping it, you know what I'm saying. I'm actually looking forward to the second. I hope they kill that as well. But yeah, yeah, it's have you heard that a lot about people once they that connection they've made when their ancestors come to them and kind of guide them, on this journey? And is that what happened with you?
Hmm. Yeah. People talk about their ancestors, because doing genealogy in itself is this ancestral spiritual thing. So you really gotta you really gotta knock, not knock, knock on the door and allow them to give you an answer on, hey,
Hmm.
can I look for you? You
Yeah.
literally had to ask, can I look for you? Because some of them don't want to be found,
Hmm.
you know. and And once they finally open up and allow you to find them, then yeah, it's gonna be what you were looking for. It's gonna be worth it.
Wow, look at the sister says the sacred leaf in Black Panther looks like a kava leaf. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's tight. Purple lotus flower. Look at that. They are. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an amazing thing because I think it's amazing just because the fact that it's coming back. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's coming back. It's coming back. Our memory is coming back. You know, this day and time, of who we were our past. You know what I mean? And like you were saying earlier, for us that are on this path, you can feel the shift in energy. You know what I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying as opposed before. You know what I'm saying? Um, when I walk outside now, the sun feels nothing like this. The vibrations of this earth feels nothing like it is. And since I've done it in the past, it it's a big difference right now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a, and the more you're in tune, I'm sure that you can really feel the difference. But this is the time. This is our time, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is that time when we were supposed to, we did our we they all the worst part of us, part of our time in that past is over. You know what I'm saying? We coming back. The sun is waking up, shooting out these solar flares. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to return. You know what I'm saying? To who we were and who we were and who we are. You know what I'm saying? It's a very beautiful time. So that's one of the reasons why I love speaking to brothers like you because some people might be, like, oh, what do I do next? Yo, follow brothers like this, man. He's doing the research. He's got what they said, he's got the receipts to back this up. He ain't just talking it, you know what I'm saying? Follow this and it's going to guide you right to where you need to be. Especially if you hear that calling, man. So another question. Because I know you do tarot readings as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yes, I do.
So okay, so um, did was this separate as far as was this separate? Doing these tarot readings was something that you just learned on the way, or was it connected as well as far as you learning that? And is there anything else that you do like tarot as far as spiritually that the people might want that you can talk to the people about?
Yeah, yeah. Tarot. That like before I was doing that, I was doing intuitive readings. So other thing incorporate is healing services. I'll say I acquire like healing services and like there's like the readings like you said tarot readings, healing services, and astrology services. That's all intertwined. So yeah, I offer those services as well.
Okay, and if y'all see him, all right, I got his information on here. And all those services that the brother has, you know what I'm saying? You can connect him. I got all his information in IG. And also it's on the description of the video. So please reach out and also, support the brother. You know what I'm saying? I got his cash app on here. You know what I'm saying? Support the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast, support the good brother. You know what I'm saying? We gotta support these cats because they we all put a lot of good time and effort into this. You know what I'm saying? So please, support. And if you haven't already, please follow both of us. If you haven't followed me, please follow me. And if you haven't followed him, please follow him. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And also share because I'm gonna tell you, I've got brothers like him are lighting a fire under me more so to put this information on the forefront. And I was just telling the brothers earlier, a lot of y'all know, about my book I wrote, my upcoming book. I literally had to stop once I was listening to some of these brothers out here and like put a whole couple of other chapters in the book because of how important in day and time this information is. Y'all don't understand. This is a very, very, it's just so important for us, quote unquote. I like to, like I say, the Native American Nubians. I like to say that. But in America, you know what I'm saying? Stop calling yourself black. You know what I'm saying? You're not a black person. And I'm gonna let the brother, because I know he knows. I've seen some of his videos. Please, could you really go into detail specifically of why we shouldn't be calling each other black people, and what should we be calling each other, or what what Could you kind of share that with the people?
Hmm. Right. Yeah. So black legally, um, not even going into the black laws because like if you just look at the racial categories of black or African American means you're from any part or any black racial group in Africa. In every other category, they're tied to original people. So if you're not, then why talk about something considers you not an original person? That's a dis uh um and things like that. So and then also in the Americas, these are just social statuses. Because back in the before like the 1900s, um, black and white were it didn't matter what skin color you were.
Hmm.
When it came to this black and white paradigm, it's just white just meant you were rich. You could own land.
Hmm.
Black, not necessarily a slave status. It
Hmm.
just meant you couldn't own land. Well, no, let me frame from that because people
Yeah.
were classified as black that own land. It's just you just weren't in a certain status. You were just looked
Hmm.
down upon them, and white
Hmm.
because we into the argument. That's the stat. That's what the stat. Because Isaiah Thomas, he actually the
Yeah.
basketball player, he actually broke this down very eloquently.
I loved
Like,
it.
yeah, the white status more privilege, and status gives you less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's, yeah,
and then
you.
what should we call ourselves? Just refer to. Uh, yeah, so you could just say fellow, like like American Indian. Call people someone that that's my Indian brother sister, American Indian brother sister, or you could just call people by their ethnic background, whether they're like Muskogee, whether they're like I don't know, Shawnee, like call them by that. That's my Shawnee brothers, something like that. You know, like just they're just my people. Like that's my people. You know.
The sister said earlier, she was just like, oh, I'm Native American, and it's like y'all have to realize that that's not a that's not a taboo thing. That's not a strange thing to say that I'm a Native American Indian. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to say that. You were that's what they used to call you. You know what I'm saying? Like you just don't know it. And I remember I still remember to the day when I was sitting in fifth grade, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm in getting indoctrinated by the public school system, but I still remember like just hearing that slave story, about all the black people that were slaves and all that kind of stuff. And I just remember how they, it hurt my heart. I'm like, God dang, you know what I'm saying? Before that, it was like cool, but just to know that they indoctrinate those little kids with that information of just being slaves, you know what I mean, and not in completely separating the slave story with the Native American Indian story. It's mind-boggling. And it's once you realize that the true connection, how it comes together, it's like, yo, it's still amazing to me the true story of us black people in America as far as being Native Americans. You know what I'm saying? And you know,
Hmm.
it is just so important, everybody that's watching out there, to do your research. You know what I'm saying? Listen to these good brothers and these good sisters out here giving this information because we the vast majority of us here are the Native Americans that were here originally. You know what I mean? Um, I got some interesting. What about like on the esoteric, on the ritualistic aspect? Were you ever introduced to anything like like specifically that the natives did on on the metaphysical side? Or, were you introduced to different rituals? Because personally, Chief Amacha, he was showing me hoodoo and voodoo originally, But later on, I started to see how the connection, etc. So, is there stuff that you were introduced to when it comes to the spiritual system of the natives? If you can
Yeah,
talk about it.
the same thing. Yeah, hoodoo. Yeah, hoodoo. No, that's a combination of indigenous practices. You got Catholicism, Christianity, things like that, and then you got voodoo. Haitian voodoo actually comes from like the Arawak, but not more so on the hoodoo scale that was introduced in the cosmology. So the cosmology, like we still do it in ways. We just got our Western version of it, uh, like astrology.
Yeah, so there's like, and these are kind of what these are kind of like remnants of what we um these are remnants of what we have today that a lot of us are picking up today. Is that correct?
Oh, say that one more again. My bad.
And like well like the native the hoodoo and these different traditions, is this stuff some of the stuff that we used to actually practice over here, or was it more specific tribally? You know what I mean? Is that
Uh huh.
uh
Tribes had their own other, like, had their different versions of things, of course.
yeah.
But yeah, like the base of like hoodoo came from like the South. So the South Indians, I say, and then and they were just practiced because a lot of them, because Psalms, but the Psalms that's used a lot in hoodoo.
Yeah,
That's a
true.
spell book.
Hmm.
So
Oh yeah.
would uh people would do that behind closed doors. They be Christians out in public, and behind closed doors,
Hmm.
yeah, they'll send you to the shadow.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, so as far as like if people wanted to contact you specifically, you know what I mean, dealing with like your tarot reading, like what everything you're doing, is that's a service you provide that anybody just contact you, correct? And just as far as doing readings, etc.
I have a link in my bio.
Hmm.
Um, Outside of the readings, I do genealogy
Okay.
services. But the link in my IG bio, it has all the services that I provide.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if people are interested,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would be very I think it's very I think it's very interesting. Um, I think it's very, very interesting how um, that I think it's fortunate that we have individuals like you that are able to connect the dots, because a lot of us don't know where to start from. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Is there yeah, somebody saying here they're
hmm
definitely interested in genealogy. How does that work as far as genealogy goes? Is it like something like ancestry.com, or is it something you have to do the research on? How does that break down?
yeah, I do ancestry. I also do family search. I cross reference other sources. So, if you want to contact me for it, you would definitely have to know at least your grandparents, like yourself, your parents, and at least your grandparents.
Yeah.
So people I could find on at least the 1950 census, you know. So yeah, depending on where you're born. So if you're around my age, might need to have your great grandparents. But no, I usually just like just grandparents. Whatever people can find.
Yeah. Yeah. And is it the type of situation in which because I'm still interested, because I'm still learning myself about this, because I'm actually going through the process. Um, is it to a certain point when like you have a certain name and it connects to a tribe, or is it that is it like, does it shift over from a, or is it like a normal name that you might have now, like a surname now you might have now, it might be similar to a tribal name? You know what I'm saying? That's a question I have. Is that what are the different ways that you can see the connection?
Yeah, I'll say some name. Yeah, some like you got names like. Mingo,
Mm-hmm.
Suki.
Mm-hmm.
You got like people name people after the tribe, like Muskogee. Not a
Mm-hmm.
Muskogee. I don't know if anybody's named Muskogee. I'm in Powhatan. But yeah, some cases like that. And then when the Europeans got over, uh, just speaking of just how I found like connections. When the court records, when you see the court records of people that like this is when you're dealing with like the 1700s, 1600s, things like that. The court records of people
Yeah.
would definitely detail if they were, indigenous, and things that, or if they're European, because in the process, a lot of like when you go through the process, you're gonna find Europeans, especially if you're going back 13 Europeans in the, because especially if they were Scottish or Irish,
Mm-hmm.
so they definitely, uh, the people, and it's one, the people would take on European names after getting baptized. This happened to one of our ancestors. And they got reclassified as either a free person of color or a mulatto. And they did this in Delaware, New Jersey, Maryland, or just anywhere they contacted. And then free person of color also meant in North Carolina indigenous too. Free person of color, because there's an interview of from a congressman that were these free persons of color. And the guy, I guess the census take, he was saying that they're mixed with Spanish and indigenous, like Spanish, Portuguese, and indigenous.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, how? Like, where did they come from? He's like, I don't know. Like, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it was like that.
Just lying, still making up stuff like just making up stuff out of nowhere just because. No, that's a very interesting thing. I didn't know that what you were saying about um how a lot of people once they just I guess they went from the native ways and they just got you know Christianified or baptized, they just switched everything over and like that would be the I could completely. I mean, it makes perfect sense how that would be the end of that lineage on paper, you know. And now it'd be shifted over to a Western Christian. Yeah, and so that's why the vast majority of us walking around with Christian names, right? Well, not Christian names, but European names. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, makes perfect sense. Dang,
Mm-hmm.
man, dang, that's it, man. That's it. So what? So So what else you now you know what we see I see people in the chat now, you know what I'm saying? Do you all have any questions for the good brother? Because I'm definitely gonna is that cool? We open the floor up for some questions. We good? Even yeah,
Yeah, I'll
even
give you
on
some
IG.
questions.
Y'all got any questions
Yeah,
for the
you're gonna have
good
to
brother?
read them off because
Okay.
yeah, you're gonna have to read them. My screen is white, yeah,
Okay, you good. You
on my
good. You
laptop,
good.
so I can't see the.
Interesting. No, I'm just looking. I was looking through some of the chats as far as people um, differentiating. Some people are saying talking about differentiating between Native Americans and Native American. Let's see. Let me go back here. Let's see. Native Americans and American Indians. Okay. So there's a difference between Native American and American Indians. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you break that down?
There is a difference.
Okay. Yeah. Break that down, please.
Yeah, so Native American. If you look at native, the definition of native, anybody can be a native American based off the definition. If you're born here, this is somewhere that you're like born from.
Mm,
So and then when you get the introduction to Native American, really through Europeans, they created the
mm-hmm,
American. So if you look at the treaties and stuff that were signed, they were American on the treaties, and these is going back very far,
mm-hmm,
1600s, 1700s. Like these is American Indian on the treaties. So with that being said, Native American, I guess, is it comes along now 1960s, I believe. So
Mm,
yeah, but like in far as today, the terms are interchangeable
hmm.
now because of Obama. So
Hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. So there was already okay, I see what you're saying. So there are newer terms that's come in that differentiate. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Kind of like
mhm,
how the word African American wasn't here before, and then eventually just showed up now. People that call themselves African American as a
yeah.
okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, let's see what else we got here. Uh, Question: when did Africans come to pre-Columbian Americas?
How if I know? So to like a
When did
date,
Africans come to
no clue.
pre-Columbian
Like
America? Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm not even going to try to assume. I'm not even going to try to assume the date. Like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even the question itself is kind of interesting because I mean, Africans. It says what you know. That's I think that's kind of too of a broad of a question. You know what I mean? When did Africans come to pre-Columbian Americas? It's kind of like you'd have to be more specific because even on their end, they were you know
there
when you
is a
had cats like yeah
story.
yeah
Yeah, there's a story. Was it Manson Moose's brother coming like
Mansa Musa. That's what I
1300?
was gonna say. Yeah.
Believe that's a date.
Yeah, that's good. Fair point. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the date either, but that did end. Yeah, they said he came over here, and also I remember hearing that a lot of the Native American, well, I don't even know what term I can say around because I'm getting confused about it, but I said American Indian tribes were already trading with different African tribes and also different tribes from on the West Coast and the East Coast. So you had these people here that were already trading with different places, and some of them look similar. So you can have African person and American Indian
Hmm.
trading together, but they look similar and have similar cultures. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, so that's a yeah that I mean that's a good answer the Mansa Musa aspect because that is a factual a time frame in which that did what it that um you're welcome. Okay, so let's see got any other questions? That's interesting. It's talking about it. Somebody said Obama removed American Indian. Okay, Obama removed. Is that is
Hmm.
that is that is that a
Yeah,
fact that you know of?
that's a fact. Yeah, he changed it to Native American. Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay. He
why.
changed it to Native
Yeah.
American.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
it was. Did they say was there? As you do you know? Was there a specific reason why he did that, or was it like something behind that, like why he did it, or is this, that he was just the one that?
Yeah, for as far as I know, yeah, I don't have a specific reason, but yeah, he
Okay,
did
okay,
do
no,
that.
no,
He
yeah,
changed it
yeah,
to
yeah,
Native American.
yeah. Hmm, interesting. Somebody said only thing is
But
let me see
you
this.
know what? I'll say this: it's
Uh,
probably just another move to get people off the land again. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This is an interesting point, actually. Somebody said, and somebody said, only thing different is our grandmother's brothers from another mother. You know what I mean? I think, yeah, that's interesting perspective there. Um, let's see, we got any other questions out there? What we got? What we got? Okay. All right, y'all in the chat anywhere else? Let me see if see any other ones. Just got any other questions here?
uh,
Okay, we got another one. How can a person doing genealogy? Well, let me pull it up. Sorry. Um, it says, how can a person doing genealogy identify as American Indian ancestor?
So finding you for one, you had to actually have find proof of them being American Indian. You could go to different tribes like genealogy is. I mean, how offer offer enrollment. Like some do it based off genealogy. Anyone doing it based off DNA.
Hmm.
Uh, most of them do it off like genealogy, I believe. This the five civilized tribes, you gotta be on the last. Your family has to be on the final Dawes rows of those. Um, yeah, or you can get. There's other ways of doing. You can get recognized as an urban Indian, as well, because you had to uphold like activity, like American Indian activity with the tribe. So
Hmm.
to or yeah, you had the genealogy urban Indian. That I tell you that, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So is that something since you've been connected with, is that something you do as far as, just being a part of like the culture, the rituals and powwows and et cetera? Is that something that you're a part of that's it's all brought you to personally?
Is there something I do? There's just practicing animistic nature. So animism,
Hmm.
being in tune with nature,
Hmm.
basically.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Is there like are there because I see all the time I see a lot of time, they have powwows, they have different, things going on in the Native community. I've been to some as well. Um, dealing with your people, is that the people still are still people active that way, and dealing with your specific group, and
No,
you partake in that.
I haven't. There's just a powwow in Maryland. I missed it. I haven't been to a powwow before, but I do want to go to the next one. So I'll eventually go to a powwow.
Yeah. So it's kind of like just continuously just building on the knowledge you received and embracing the culture overall. Like, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
You got to start somewhere. Um, Another question: why is it important to know where your ancestors were in 16 to 1700s in America?
I believe it is definitely important. Like
Hmm.
if you've been sold a story of them coming from another place in like
Hmm.
1619, uh, that'd be important to see where you fall into history.
Hmm.
Whether they actually came off a boat in 1619 or they was already here in the 1700s,
Hmm.
and they were affiliated. That's finding, I guess, outside of the five civilized. That's really start finding like either European people that I've come across. I've done genealogy for folks, and they've had African, yeah, they've had African ancestor. Uh,
Hmm.
it's possible. It's possible because you did the work. Uh, like that, just knowing who you are in general, important anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah. That's a fair point because just like we were saying earlier, it's like you ask the average black person, who they came, where they came from. They don't have a clue. Oh, I was a slave. My people came here on a boat. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of crazy talk. And like they 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 can they cannot substantiate either way between if they're Native American or slave. You know what I'm saying? They just regurgitating what they've been told by a system that has lied to them. You know what I mean? So what do you mean? How is it
mhm.
important to know that we all have to know? That's why we're talking right here. We all have to know knowledge of self. We all have to know our lineage, our genealogy, because that's what made us who we are today. You know what I'm saying? It's like who wouldn't want to know who they are and where they came from? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. Let me see if we
Unless
got
you're one of them
anything else.
folks, only people in 70 just so you can get a check. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Well, and like I'm saying, man, that's why I'm so happy you came on the show because this conversation, this topic, It's very important, and it's going to grow and grow more and more. I'm telling y'all, because of good brothers like this and the other brothers and sisters that are here that are, sharing this information. You know, do your research. You know what I'm saying? You know, do your research. I started myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see the connections that I had, and the more and more I learn, I'm just like, good gracious, man. You know what I'm saying? We need to find out where we came from, because it's very important just to know, knowledge itself, where we came from. You know what I'm saying? So, besides that, let me see if I got anything else in the chat. Um, okay, they're just talking about the echo. Yeah, I think there's some an issue with the headphones. I'm not really sure, but
Oh yeah, because it'd be kind of on. Let me. Yeah. Okay. Hello.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, and this comment right here, this comment right here, this is kind of like we're saying, it's like, you know for us to move forward, you know what I'm saying, we have to literally, I said I'm gonna read it out for everybody. So I'll tell you why. Because when folks are victims and we can't do things proactively, in reality we react to reactionary idealistic cannibal. We're doing the same crap Eurocentrics are doing. And going back to our previous conversation, that's interesting that he said that. I appreciate your comment, because if we had culture, and we had culture, and we had culture instilled in us, then we wouldn't be doing none of this craziness. You know what I'm saying? If we, every other race on this right now, the vast majority of these racist people, they have culture. You know, you look at Jewish people. You know what I'm saying? They got culture. You know what I'm saying? They got finance put inside their culture. They got a language. They act a certain way. You know what I'm saying? But us as quote unquote Black Americans, a lot of us, when we're out here, just doing the way we've been groomed in America, we doing all this crazy stuff. You look on TV, you know what I'm saying, and there's no discipline, there's no accountability. It's just like, okay, they're just African Americans being African Americans. No, man, this is new. We had our shit together for the longest time. All this ignorance, all this other stuff. This is brand new. You know what I'm saying? This is not this is not something that was um this is not something that we are accustomed to doing. It's just that we lost our knowledge. We lost our culture. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. We got some other. Um, yeah. Wasn't people saying like Black Americans do have? Yeah, Black Americans have Black Americans definitely do have a certain culture. But I'm talking about a type of culture that goes beyond the type of culture, a substantial culture that goes along with something like an indigenous culture, even connecting to something like religion. You know what I'm saying? A Muslim, or a Hebrew Israelite, or any of these individuals that have bylaws, have laws they follow that connect them all together. Man, you ask any other vast majorities, African Americans, what they think about certain subject, they're gonna give you 100 different answers. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask a whole bunch of quote unquote Black Muslims, what if you feel about it? They're gonna tell you what the Quran says, so, and this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? You say that to a Hebrew, or even, and so on and so on. So yeah, Black Americans do have culture, but you know, on the flip side, a lot of this Black and Mono culture is a murder culture. You know what I'm saying? Not just because it's been pushed on us, but it's a murder culture. We want to music got us doing all this kind of crazy stuff with talking about drugs and demeaning women and all this kind of crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So who wants to type that type of culture? I'm trying to get to like you were saying earlier. I want to see that type of culture is getting back to animism, spirituality, eating. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of culture,
Hmm.
and that's what we had for the longest time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to get back to for us to get to get to that next level. You know, somebody said all other ethnic groups copy our culture. Of course, they
Hmm.
yeah they
Right.
yeah. You want to build on that? I'm just saying, my thing is like everybody wants.
Yeah,
Go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, they definitely people, because we've been hot. Americans been hot since time immemorial.
Yeah.
We've been hot since time immemorial. Let me say this
Mhm.
again. We've been hot since time immemorial. A lot of people have copied or taken from or learned from our culture
Mhm.
since the beginning of time, since the beginning of
Yeah.
this civilization. And bro, think sun, the sun, they say, with ancient times and now. So yeah, we make stuff every time we do something. This is why we be trending. People always
Mhm.
siphon off our
Mhm.
energy. Stuff like this, always around the quote unquote Black American.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around the quote unquote Black American.
Everybody wants what really loves to loves us, and they love everything about us, but they don't want to deal with the stuff that we have to deal with being Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It stops like when you have to deal with the things about getting racial profiling or all these different things that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that costume or that melanin like we have every day, you know what I'm saying, you can step away from all that. But we gotta live with that. You know what I'm saying? That's our badge. That's our badge right now, baby. And a beautiful thing about that is now is the day and time when that badge of honor with our melanin is starting to be seen as beautiful. And thanks for these other teachers as well that came along. They've informed us how great we are, how our past was, and how important it is to have melanin and be proud about it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is a I have to say this is a good point. The sister saying right here, and I agree. Um, you know, we have to restore our matriarchal order. You know what I'm saying? Lots of healing gets back to nature and disease. I mean, sister, I agree with you
I agree
100%.
with that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Um, the woman, I always back in my day, I was told, the black woman was God, you know what I'm saying? And I always used to say, okay, cool, so I understand that. My mom, my wife, she's black, my mom is black, whatever case may be, I understand that. I've always had that respect. But once I started to learn and go into more detail about learning, how the matriarchal society was, how powerful the black woman was, and even just coming down to science, dealing with mitochondrial DNA and all that the black woman has, and it's like now I can have a better understanding of how the matriarchal, we were at our best that specific time. Well, I can't say we were best. Let me not say that. But once the defined feminine and matriarch was in order, and how we were in a much better place. I'll just say it that way. So,
Hmm.
sister, I agree with you 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I think that
Yeah,
a lot of
hands
good
down, like
brothers
bro.
out here, yeah, a lot of good brothers and sisters out here are bringing that to the forefront. And I appreciate you for bringing that up because it is very important that we understand, that aspect of all of this. Because, mama, you know what I'm saying? She was here first. Mama had us straight. So let's see if we got. Oh, let me see. If we got another question. Interesting, interesting statement. And the key is understand the language of our current marketplace to those use. Yeah, I mean, and that's a fair point. That's what. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The brother, like I'm saying, like the brothers right here in front of you. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the research and the work. You know what I'm saying? He's had experience. He's going inside. You know what I'm saying? And I can already tell by just by his demeanor. That brother, I know he does his shadow work. He do the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? But that's all the type of things that we need to do as individuals now to really get to that next level to be who we were. Previously. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no game, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're all on this planet here in this specific time that we never. I mean, me personally, I didn't think I'd be seeing the stuff that I'm seeing right now. You know what I'm saying? I thought that I'm at the point now. If a big giant UFO ship came down, you know what I'm saying, and another ships came out, start taking people up, I'd be like, you know, okay, you know, I've heard people say that before. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put it past anything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like the day and time where we don't know what's going on right now, man. But we do know that a lot of us, the ones we're trying to get back to source and self. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that does have to do with getting to know who we are as individuals and where we came from as a people. You know what I'm saying? It's a huge part. So again, you know, the people out here that's, trying that's on that journey, you know what I'm saying? You got good brothers out here that's doing work. You know what I'm saying? Find it. Do that work. Share the love, share the information, man. But trying to see if we got any other questions, brother. But I don't know. I think that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's it. And again, like I said, if you haven't already, please share this. Please follow. Please, brother, the good brother, Darvid Osiris. You know what I'm saying? He got TikTok. You know what I'm saying? IG, you know what I'm saying? Gmail, and also his Cash Apps all on here. And also all his contact information is in the description. Brother, keep on doing the good work. You know what I'm saying? Please keep on doing the good work. I know you will. And I appreciate what you're doing, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. You know what I'm saying? And anybody that's doing what you're doing, I applaud you and I support you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. It's been great. You know. Yeah. Shout out to all the American Indians, all the wild Indians. We out here. We coming strong. So
Yeah.
thank you.
The good brother Rod, he told me, and I love saying this now because I mean, I understand what he's saying. That he was like, let all the tribes unite, man, and that's what I'm saying. All the tribes, just unite, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's unite. Get that information. You know what I'm saying? Start unite. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, got to get back. Got to get back to who we were. That's it for us tonight in the Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. Please go to the polkadot.rabbitpodcast.com. You know what I'm saying? Again, check out my book, Bicultural Living and Losing the World of Illusions. You know what I'm saying? Follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff if you haven't already. And please share and please follow this good brother if you don't know who he is. And that is it for me. You know what I'm saying? And anything else? Any parting words, brother?
Hootie hoo. And yeah. Peace.
I love it. All right. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. And like I said, all tribes unite, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace. Hold on 1 second, Jarvis. Bear with me, please.
All right. My computer.
Let me go ahead and. Okay.